this year. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, I was thinking of doing more gameplay videos, but I figured I could also do like physical media, because I do actually have a pretty good collection of boxed PC games and strategy guides and things like that. That might be fun to kind of go over. So, as you can see, I've kind of upgraded my recording area a little bit, and I'm kind of gonna try this out and see if it actually works out pretty well. So, with that being said, let's unbox this, the Seventh Guest PC game. If you don't know what this game is a full motion video PC game that you solve a lot of various puzzles as you go through this house. It's basically, you're in this mansion, and it kind of explains it here. Henry Stoff's mansion has been abandoned for as long as anyone dare remember. Stoff was a master toy maker, a maker of amazing puzzles, and this strange house was his greatest creation. Now, the mansion stands empty, rotting ever since the children started dying, ever since the six guests came. Now, there are only the eerie lights and the terrible sing-song rhymes of the children. And suddenly, you are in the house. You move from room to room, room to haunted room, step by terrifying step, as scenes from that night of horror come to life. Because Stoff's game isn't over. There were 6 guests the world knew about, and there was one other. Stoff's mad mansion lives again, and only you can end the nightmare and learn the secret of the 7th guest. Can a computer game really scare you witless? So, as you can see, the box is a little bit damaged, and there's some loud noises as things shift. There's the outside sleeve. Put this aside. So inside we have a whole bunch of things. We have the original discs, and there were actually 2 CDs for all of the video files that this game has. Put that aside right now. You have the Stoff files, which is some sort of booklet. Okay. Case Unsolved, American Press Association. Oh, interesting. These are sort of little flavor snippets, I guess, from, in the game where you have the history of kind of what had happened, told in the style of newspaper clippings. Wonder World Toys and Puzzles, item 1007, an original hand-carved Stoff doll. Each doll is unique, no 2 are alike. All of these classic wooden dolls are made under the direct supervision of Mr. Stoff himself. It's the doll your child can't live without. $3.95. Pretty good prices, actually, but I guess this was technically $19.29. So, interesting. You have all these little bits of Sentinel, March 28th, 1936. New reports of noises emanating from the Stauf house. Screams and unearthly wails have once again turned up nothing. The New Harley Police Chief, James Mondello, says that we're used to hearing these reports. Cheap pranks, really. It's just kids wandering up to the house, getting spooked. They get the neighbors all rattled, so they call us. Just pranks, Mondello says. Chief Mondello declined to comment on the reports of strange colored lights seen in the mansion's windows. Reports verified by over 24 witnesses. All I can say, Mondello told the Sentinel, is that I didn't see them, nor did any of my men. Continuing on about a sort of a timeline of how Stauf started making the toys, and then issues started coming up in the house. Here's actually nice little pictures of the cast and who each of the people are, which is actually kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever actually looked at this before to find out more information about these people, which is really kind of interesting. And more reports. On my beat. Interesting. So that's some nice reports. And there's so much more. We have a booklet, the operations manual. This would go into a lot of detail about things like your hardware requirements, installing, running, basics of playing the game, the interface, how to handle certain errors. The minimum hardware required for this was a 386DX with 2 megabytes of RAM, 16-bit SVGA video card with at least 512 kilobytes of memory. Wow. Only 10 megabytes of free space on your hard drive. It's pretty amazingly low requirements. Anybody's phone has probably 10 times that capability now, easily. Probably more than that, probably like 100 times the capability. So you have all the different icons explaining, which is good. You can see various troubleshooting for certain things. Video cards that were supported. Nowadays, there's just so many different options, it would be impossible to put everything in a document like this. Because most people anyways, just, they would look it up. There's no point having something written out like this. What else do we have? This looks like the Virgin troubleshooting guide, which is just more information about mostly the same stuff that was in the other booklet, just talking about different problems that you might have. A CD-ROM product catalog. Oh, that's interesting. You can see all the different types. Now, it seems this was a later production of the game, obviously, because you have the sequel in here that looks like it's already been created. Which, incidentally, I actually do have the boxed version of that as well. Seventh Guest. Some other games. I always like these catalogs. Back in the day when the full motion video games were big, you started seeing like recognizable celebrities acting in them, which was a pretty big deal at the time. Let's see. Hodgepodge. NASCAR. Trivial Pursuit, Scrabble, Risk for Windows. I actually have Risk 2. I preferred that over the original. Monopoly. Frantic Factory. There's a whole pile of these different games. Dune 2, that's a good game. I don't know. I guess it was all Virgin Interactive that made those games, which is pretty impressive. You have a printout of the README that I think the previous owner of this boxed version printed out, which just goes over the same type of things for just different settings and requirements. A special note to Tandy Sensation users. I guess just audio configurations and different settings. Additional help. Man, they really, back in the day, they really wanted to offer good customer support. I mean, you've got all these printouts and manuals explaining like certain like common problems and how to solve them, and phone numbers, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and all these different things. And it's nowadays, your best bet is to make a post on a forum somewhere and hope somebody gets back to you. And even then, it's usually not the developer of like AAA games. Indie games, you get a little more people trying to help out, but it's pretty amazing. Win a free computer game. A little contest. Wait a minute, they're giving away computer games every month. Just fill it in. I guess this was the registration form, which registration cards, man. That was a big thing back in the day, I guess. And, you know, it just goes to show you how far we've come. Back in the day, you had to fill in a form on a paper like this that explained your information, what type of system you had, all of the specs and everything. Nowadays, most of this information is just, it's just acquired automatically from your system when you launch the game. We have a little bit of a ad for the 11th hour. That's pretty cool. Just a little insert available in early 95. And then you have the gigantic strategy guide that comes with it. So you have the strategy guide that looks like it was cut a little bit too close here because it cut off half the person's name. But look at the size of this strategy guide. Wow. You've got about 350 something pages that just talks about all of the different puzzles. Talks about I think it was the odor that I first noticed even while I was still in the grip of nightmares. Half remembered, and all was blackness. It was musty and old, this smell, with just a taint of death. It's very interesting to build some suspense around the area. I think, yeah, some of this goes on about the actual dialogue that's in the game when you first start up, and then sort of walks through. Yeah, at this point, only the library and dining room are open. As you progress through this game, you'd have to go through the different rooms, and in each room would be a puzzle or two puzzles, and you'd have to solve those, and in doing so, it would open up other rooms in the house. So, you can see some of these puzzles. I don't know if it just sort of walks you through these things. I'm not sure if it gives you the absolute solutions to these. It sort of just gives you a bit of an idea. For example, this can puzzle. Oh, so it doesn't actually give you, well maybe it does, but it doesn't seem to give you the actual answer right away, but you have a whole list of words that could possibly be involved with this. So they sort of give you just advice and little hints on being able to solve it. What was kind of nice about this game is that in the game there was actually a hint system that wasn't really common at the time. Let's see if I can find a picture of, I thought there was, yeah, see, you would go into, I can't really see it here, but this would be the living room area where this is, and there was actually, it doesn't show, there was a book that was on a table, and at any time you could go to that book and you could open it up, and whatever puzzle you were currently working on, it would give you a hint, and then you could click through and it would bring you back to the puzzle. If you went back, it would give you a second hint. Click and bring you to the puzzle. If you went back for a third time, it would just solve it for you, and you could just skip the puzzle, which was actually kind of nice to allow people to progress through the game and the story without having to absolutely solve every single puzzle. But pretty impressive that they have this detailed. Yeah, here you can see it. That's it right there, actually. You can see that there's a book on the desk. That's the one that you would click on. But it's kind of impressive that they would do up an entire book like this to basically walk you through the game, not just simple straight answers, but talking about some different hints and clues that would push you in the direction of being able to solve the puzzle yourself. It's pretty amazing. So you have all of these different screenshots of different points in the game, which is kind of neat. Shows you where the puzzles are. It's really kind of interesting, actually, because it's this whole book seems to be written from a standpoint of just somebody having gone through the house with that sort of mentality of not just like you're a player, but like somebody that was actually in this world talking through, like it's like a journal entry of how they went through the house and had all these things happen. It's pretty amazing. And then at the end, here we go. So the first part is sort of giving you that guide, and then you have more information. Oh wow, it actually shows you the original script for everything. That's pretty neat. So you can actually look through and get more information about a little bit behind the scenes of the game. So pretty amazing. I think that's probably, oh, and then the actual solutions of how to solve the puzzles are in the back, which I'm just gonna flip through. Spoiler alert. But what's this? Secret rooms. Shows you all this stuff, some interviews. So really a nice book to basically have it included with the game, which is pretty amazing. So there you have it. There is The Seventh Guest, an unboxing of the game, and that's basically what's included in the box if you get The Seventh Guest as a big box PC edition. So I hope you liked this video. I had some fun going through and checking out the contents of this. just sort